Hey YouTubers, it's Valerie with Money Mindset Coach, and today I want to share a list with you. 10 facts to always remember. And I think these are just really good things to just think about. You know, a lot of times we go through our day and we don't really think about some of these things that are on this list. And I tell you what, I have been reading the book, How to Know Someone, and down at the bottom it says how to deeply know someone or deeply see someone and how to be deeply seen. And I gotta tell you, every morning when I'm reading that book, I have a box of Kleenex on my nightstand, and there are wadded up Kleenexes by the time I get done reading. I read an hour every morning. That's the first thing I do after I get my coffee. And I have at least 2 or 3 wadded up Kleenexes after reading this book. It's so good. It's by David Brooks. I'll talk about it at the end of I'll reiterate everything at the end. I want to read everything the guy wrote now. I love it. I positively love it. But it's made me think about a lot of things in my life. And a lot of that comes from just being older. You know, now that I'm 67, I'm thinking about some of these things differently than what I used to, you know? And number 1 on the list is the past can't be changed. So many times we sit there and we ruminate, dwell, think about, however you want to put it, of something that happened in our past. But we can't go back and change anything. The only thing you can do is go forward with what you've learned from your past and just go on, you know, but you can't change anything. So to go back and say, oh, I wished I'd done this. I wish I hadn't done that. I wished I hadn't said that. It's kind of counterproductive because there isn't anything you can do because you can't change it. Number 2. Opinions don't define your reality. I struggle with this one because when I feel a certain way about something and somebody else doesn't feel the same way, that can end up defining how I think about that thing. Or it will bother me greatly that somebody doesn't see it the same way that I do. And I heard Dr. Phil. I love Dr. Phil. And, you know, there's a lot of Dr. Phil on YouTube. And he was talking to a young teenage girl who had gone through something really horrific. And she had a certain opinion of something that happened to her, where her parents are saying, no, that didn't happen to you. But Dr. Phil reminded her parents that she had every right to feel the way that she did. Whether she was right, whether she was wrong, didn't matter. She still had the right to feel however she felt about it. Everybody has the right to feel. This is really important to remember. Number 3, everyone's journey is unique. We go through a lot in our lives, and there are people who go through some really horrible things, and they come out good on the other side. Somehow. They do. And but everybody's journey is unique, and so how you do things, how it worked for you, might not work for that other person. That person is unique, and their feelings, the way that they do things, all that stuff is unique to them. And we tend to put some of our beliefs onto other people when maybe we shouldn't do that. We should just let them be their unique selves. Judgments are not about you. Ugh, I think that that's been hard for me too. You know, I have felt judged at times, and do I take it personally? Yeah, I have. I have taken it personally, like there's something wrong with me. And it goes back to when I was growing up. I mean, I grew up in a household where I had a very strict father. And when he was home, he ruled with an iron fist, and we watched on TV what he wanted to watch. We had for dinner what he wanted to eat for dinner. And basically, you talk about not being able to feel things. If you didn't have a smile on your face, you better get one, because there was no room to be in a bad mood. And if you were in a bad mood, he was not going to be asking you why you were in a bad mood. He didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to hear about it. There are some really, really wonderful things about my dad, but there were some things that were very, very, they were difficult to deal with at times. This is one that hits me every time. Number 5, overthinking leads to sadness. How many times do we overthink the situation? You know, you just can't do it. You just can't do it, because you will just drive yourself nuts. And it can bring about sadness. I think one of the hardest things now is all these people who, and I mean, I was there 9 years ago when I got divorced, and then I eventually met my boyfriend. When you're in the dating scene and you're going out with somebody for the first time, there's a Facebook page where it's relationship advice, woman to woman. And there's all kinds of stuff that gets written, but a lot of times a woman, usually a young woman, will say, well, we went out, we had a really good time. He said he wanted to see me again, but it's been 2 days and I haven't heard from him. Should I text him? What am I supposed to do? I didn't hear back. And then, I mean, I know from my sons, you know, you text the girl, you know, the person you went out with, and you don't hear anything, and you're waiting. And then you hear something a couple hours later. You know, everybody's different when it comes to how they text and how fast they text back. But when you really want to hear from this person and you text and you're kind of sticking your neck out, and then you're not hearing anything back, it's torture. But what do? You overthink. Oh, they must not have liked me. Well, they said that they did, but I guess no, they really didn't. Maybe they met somebody else. Maybe their ex came back into their life. Maybe they got hit by a bus and they're in the hospital and they can't text me back. I mean, there's all kinds of things. There's all kinds of crazy things that can go through your head. I was lucky with my boyfriend because, and my therapist even told me I needed somebody like this, but he calls me every night. You know, even if he's working, and he works up in surgery, and he might have 2 minutes or a minute or 15 seconds to talk to me, but he always calls me. And if he can't, he texts me and says, I can't call you, I'm too busy. I know. I am not going to go the whole evening with not hearing from him in some way. And so that was that structure that I needed. I could depend on him to text me in the morning, to text me at night, to call me every night. I needed that. The guy that I dated before him, I think I went out with him for about 3 months, and my son was the one who said, he's controlling. And I was like, what do you mean? He wants to know where you are every minute of the day. Well, I looked at it as he just cared. He wanted to know that I was okay, you know? I mean, it was a protective thing, you know, that's how I saw it. But then when I wasn't with him anymore, and one night I just listened to every message that he left me that I hadn't deleted yet. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, my son was right. He was controlling very much. So the overthinking, you just can't do it. You will drive yourself crazy. Number 6, happiness is within. This is so true. I think that when I first got married, I looked to my husband to make me happy. You know, because how many times do we say, oh, you make me so happy? Like, but when you say that, it's sounding like, okay, what you did made me happy, so therefore I am dependent on you to keep me happy. Where, you know, you basically have to be a happy person, and it's very hard in relationships to not be affected by their inattention or them not behaving the way that you thought they would, you know, because everybody has expectations, and that's been another thing that's always gotten me, is my expectations. I put them way up there. But happiness is within. You have to be happy just with yourself, by yourself. You really do. You have to just be happy. Now, that is not always easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It can be very, very difficult for some people. They struggle, you know. I mean, if somebody's got depression, I mean, clinical depression, they are going to have a very hard time being happy, you know, unless they're putting on and everybody thinks that they're happy. You know, we don't always know. This one's so true. Smiles are contagious. See? They're contagious. When you smile at somebody, it's very unusual for that person to not smile back. It's just really, really hard. It's like it's a normal response when someone smiles at you to smile back. And you know how there can be certain people that don't smile very much. But I tell you, everybody, it changes your face entirely. Because here I am, not smiling. And this is me smiling. Now, I am a more approachable person when I'm smiling. I'm not super approachable when I'm not. And the eyes have a lot to do with what you're thinking. Yeah, whole lot comes through there. Kindness is free. You know, when you're kind, or when somebody's kind to you, it's a wonderful thing. And I mean, what if we were all more kind to each other? You know, this book that I'm reading, he talks about being kind is not the same as being nice. So I am going to Google that and see what they say. While both kind and nice describe positive qualities, they differ in their focus and underlying motivations. Nice often refers to a pleasant or agreeable demeanor, focusing on social politeness and making others feel good. Kind on the other hand, emphasizes genuine care and concern, often involving selfless actions and desire to help others. Actually, this reminds me of, and I'd totally forgotten about this until now, but my bosses, one of them, his stepmom, is a nurse, and she works in hospice and everything, and she was on her way somewhere, and there was an accident that happened in the intersection, and I think the car was on its side, or if it was on its top or something like that, and she literally stayed with this woman. I think she held her hand and was there till the ambulance got there, you know? And that is something that she did not have to do. But I think in the profession that she's in, you know, you find nurses, doctors, you know, people that are in the medical profession, they have to have a caring attitude about them to want to get into the medical field in the first place. You know, you have to care about people to do that. And nurses, my mom was a nurse, and yeah, they're the ones that really, really take care. But my friend, you know, Robin, literally stayed there with this woman, which was a very kind, selfless thing to do, and stayed there until the ambulance got there to give her medical attention. You know, she talked to her and everything. That was incredibly kind. It wasn't nice. It was kind. Yeah. And there is a difference between kind and nice and I tell you what, before I read that book, I hadn't looked at it like that. And that's what I love about reading books, is you find things about them. You find a new way of looking at something. That's why I loved therapy as much as I did, because my therapist, my counselor, whatever you want to call her, she could help me with my perspective, because a lot of times, I mean, Dr. Phil will say, your perception is your reality. So if you are perceiving something, that's reality to you. But is it really? But it is the way you're seeing it and the way you see the world. And it's just, you know, we could all be more kind. Number 9, it's okay to move on. That's a hard one. It takes a long time before somebody can get to that point. I think, like with grieving, I mean, I think if you go through a divorce, it's the death of a marriage. I went through that. And, you know, you could lose your spouse through death. That's grieving on a whole nother level. There's all different kinds of losses in our lives. And there are times where moving on is the best thing for us to do. And moving on can take longer for other people than it can for others. And the people who have it, they go through it faster. They need to be patient with the people who it takes longer, because everybody's different. Everybody's different, and everybody is going to grieve at their own pace. And now we come to number 9. Time heals all. I don't know if I would say time heals all. I think time going by can lessen the pain. I mean, just the other day, it was 6 years ago that my brother passed away. He was 65. I just turned 67. So I'm 2 years older than what he was when he passed away. And that was one of the hardest times in my life because my dad had only died 4 years before. You know, he was in his 80s and in a nursing home, and it was difficult when he died. But I didn't expect 4 years later to lose my brother. And it was incredibly hard for the longest time. I can sit here and I can talk about him now, but I still will get emotional because I miss him so much. But because it's been 6 years, I get up in the morning because when you first lose somebody, whether it's a sibling or mother, father, whoever it is in your life, husband, wife, whatever, when you first lose that person, you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden it hits you. Oh, that really did happen. I really did lose them. They really did pass away. But in the beginning, you go through that realization, like every morning that you get up, you have to consciously think, oh yeah, that really did happen. Oh, and then you just can't believe it. There was a lady that came into the store last week and her husband had just passed away. And another lady came in who knew her, and it ended up being a conversation with the three of us, and we were talking about grieving. And she said how hard, incredibly hard, that it's been just to get over it, you know, to get up in the morning, to get out of bed. It's really, really hard. And, you know, time can lessen that feeling, you know, that horrible ache that you have when you miss that person so much. Time does lessen the pain. I don't think it ever totally goes away. Somebody who has lost a child, I think that would be the worst, more than losing a spouse. That's like number one when it comes to the depth of how hard that is. And I don't know, I think there's people who never get past it. They talk about maybe moving on isn't the right word. Maybe you move through it, or you move with it, and it just, you carry it, but it tends to get a little lighter over time. But it's never going to go away, you know, ever. I mean, I lost my grandmother, my mom's mom, when I was 21 years old, and I still miss her. I really look back on my grandparents, and I really wish that I would have asked them more, you know, about their lives and everything. And that's why I love what I'm doing right here with the YouTube channel, because my grandson is gonna be 3 years old in a couple months, and my oldest granddaughter is 17. She'll be 18 the end of this year. And you know, these videos will be something that they can look at, and they can see grandma, you know, grandma doing these videos, and actually see me age, because I've been doing it for a year now, and I intend to do it for, well, maybe till I'm gone. And then these videos will be here, and my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids can watch these videos and get to know me when I won't be around anymore. Not that I want to get sad or anything. I intend. I intend on being here for a really long time. My boyfriend's mother is 90. She will be 91 in October. And I tell you what, I want to be like that. I want to be like that. She is funny. She's sweet. She's nice. She's kind. She's just a great lady. And she's 90 years old. And her brother is 93 or 94, you know? And it's like, that's what I want to do. I want to live into my 90s and still be alive and kicking is what I want to do. So, you know, we will see. And then when I'm 90 something, I'll look at this video. Oh no, I was 67 back then. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I might like that. I don't know. But anyway, those are 10 facts to always remember. And so, you know, if you've made it this far, I forgot to say in the very beginning, thank you to all the people that watch me on a regular basis. Comment. That would be so nice. I would love to hear from all of you what you think. What do you think of these 12 facts to always remember? I'm sure there's others. You know, there are definitely others, but, you know, if you disagree with me, let me know. But comment, like, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. I do videos a couple times a week, and so I do an average of 8 videos a month, and I would love to. I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm going to keep on talking. And I will enjoy coming back here week after week. So, like I always say, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Till next time, bye.